Good evening, viewers, and welcome to Design Thursday. I'm Rajan Iyer, Faculty of Interiors and Retail Space Design. The UPES School of Design offers a 4-year BDIS program in Interiors and Retail Space Design. This course is all about learning the nuances of how to design experiential spaces. Not only about the design of functional and aesthetic spaces, such as homes, offices, and hospitality spaces, but also of spaces which have a communication content, such as retail spaces and even set design. Retail spaces involves an understanding of brand attributes, customers' behavioral pattern, the understanding of the tangible and intangible aspects of a brand, which needs to find expression in a physical space, material mix, and also the overall look and feel of a space. So we find that by and large, it is very multidisciplinary in nature. We give inputs in product design, space planning, furniture design, a lot of environmental graphics, and to some extent theater is also involved, so that our students are well equipped to design any kind of space. At UPES, and going further, at UPES School of Design, we follow a design pedagogy of having an element of play, encouraging a lot of interaction and participation, a lot of outdoor activities, and taking part in workshops and so on. So this, in a nutshell, is what the overall syllabus is all about. We have the pleasure of having with us Mr. Manish Chandra, the director and founder of Entasis Global. Welcome, Manish.
Hi, Rajan. Thank you so much for getting me over.
A pleasure.
And Manish, good afternoon, all the viewers.
I'll just add on some more. Manish is a traveler, a fitness enthusiast, retail designer, and a serial entrepreneur. His success began in a small home office just a few years after graduating from NIT. He used his furniture design degree from NIT and the management experience from his job at Bhutan Boards to fulfill his dream of running a design firm. His company, Entasis, has grown to be a part of the Entasis Global Group with an international footprint. This group employs a workforce of over 200 designers, workers, and dreamers to execute plans for its clients, ranging from Maruti Arena showrooms in Kohima to developing technology solutions in Hong Kong. Welcome, Manish, and over to you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for such kind words. And hello to the viewers. So, as Rajan gave a very nice and flattering description of what I do and where I come from, I would like to take you all through a session where I will speak a little bit about myself and then go on to the kind of work we do at Entasis. I will also touch upon how Entasis came into being and how the company was formed and why it was formed, what kind of opportunities we had in those days. Because I think a lot of design graduates have this dream of setting up their own company and doing their own firm. And then we will go on to see some of the work done by Entasis. And the last session would be dedicated to the questions, and I will try and address them as much as I can. Now, to give you a brief background, design was unknown, pretty much unknown in the late 80s and early 90s to the students. And as we grew up, my dream was to be an architect. And in school, we had technical drawing. That was a subject which was particularly very easy for me. And I thought I was pretty natural in technical drawing. And I found uh, good getting good grades with very least amount of effort. And generally, I was I used to enjoy technical drawing classes. And architecture was the field where I thought I could apply that kind of an understanding and ease and my comfort in that subject. Uh, NID happened by chance. I just happened to apply without even knowing what NID was all about. And it was only in the entrance exam that I got through that I realized that design was a serious career possibility for me. When I dug a little bit deeper, did a little bit of research, and as luck would have it, I was there in the campus. Studying design was entering a different world altogether. The best thing was lack of academics. And after 12th, you know, if you get a free run of 5 years where academics is perhaps just about 5 or 10% of your education, that seemed like a dream run. And I took up furniture design more because, again, it was based on my interest. And I thought I was good with materials. And I enjoyed working with materials. I enjoyed working with the machines, the systems, the processes. And more than anything else, we had Mr. Gajanand Upadhyay, who was our faculty at that point of time, a man with great vision and a faculty of repute. He inspired me to take up furniture design, and uh, that was a pleasure, and it was an honor to be uh, getting education right from him. And the 5 year just flew. After NID, most graduates would get absorbed by industry, but there was no furniture industry in the mid 90s. And in spite of all attempts, there were just about Godrej, Blowplast, one or two companies which could absorb you, and very few design companies. And I desperately wanted to get some industry exposure because obviously you learn design, but you do not know how to apply it. Uh, I applied at Bhutan board and was lucky to be given a chance by them. In fact, interestingly, those days, the placement salaries used to be 15,000 approximately for the graduates. And I was offered only 3,000 rupees by Bhutan board because the trainees over there were given 3,000 rupees, which I happily took up because the managing director, when he interviewed me, he threw a challenge. He said that if you think you are worth 15, prove it in 3 months. And as luck would have it, I got a raise of 12,000 and I was at 15 in 3 months. And then I continued over there for a year and a half, post which I had my dreams of starting my own company. Working in Bhutan board in a large organization, it was a 200 crore company at that point of time, gave me insight into running of organization and the systems and the processes and the way organizations are run and how people are handled and clients are handled, projects are handled, uh, factories are aligned, production is aligned, uh, marketing is done, etc. All those aspects are things which I picked up while I was working on field. With dreams in my eyes, I started from my residence come home, which was a one room setup like where you see me right now. That's where I lived and that's where I worked from. Had got married, so I had my wife's income to support me at that point of time. So took the plunge with absolutely no certainty of where the first paycheck will come from. Then it was a steady climb. People kept joining, one after the other projects kept happening. There were the usual goof ups, there were the usual challenges. And over a period of time, over last say 20, 24 years, we've grown from there to, we shifted offices, we shifted factories, we built new factories, we created new infrastructure. Subsequently, we created new verticals of new companies, and we formed company in Hong Kong. We formed a technology company in partnership, and various stakeholders came on board. We have a stakeholder in Hong Kong, and together we run what is now an Entasis group, which uh, works in the software and the hardware sector of retail technology. We have a design studio, we have a production house, we have a project management team. So we cover the entire spectrum of retail execution in India. And broadly, that's where you find me now. And I will quickly take you through a presentation of Entasis so that you get a sense of the company. So that's Entasis Global. As you can see, we are into the field of retail design, retail technology, commercial interiors, branding, and communication. This is some snapshots and a little bit about our infrastructure. We run from a 30,000 square feet of working space. We have a production facility. These are facilities that we have in Delhi. We are headquartered in Delhi. We work from Okhla, and we have marketing and service support offices in Mumbai, Kolkata, and Bangalore in India. We have our international marketing division work out of Hong Kong, which I'll talk about a little later. In India, in Delhi, we run a metal, wood, and acrylic workshop with digital printing, and we have civil electrical engineers, all kinds of carpenters, electricians, project team. We have a creative studio, design studio of about 10 people. We have qualified designers and civil engineers and architects from various reputed organizations and institutes. Now, when we started doing all kinds of projects, which was, say, from exhibition design to set design to commercial interiors, offices. We even did, residences for people. And it was somewhere around 2001 that I consciously decided that we should specialize in one field. And that perhaps was one of the best decisions, because that made me choose retail space. Now, retail space was something which was more of permanent nature. And with the boom in the retail segment in the early 20s, early 2000, it was a great opportunity. And it was because a lot of multinationals were coming into India, and that threw up a lot of opportunity in terms of for them to seek professional organizations to handle their retail presence. And it helped us expand our production capabilities and be able to give our customers end-to-end solution right from design to execution. Because it was pretty fragmented till then, in terms of there would be design agencies which could just do design, and then there would be contractors and the maze of, which would be very, very traumatic for the clients, because for them, dealing with contractors, laborers, workers, etc., on a national scale was pretty difficult, and they would rather deal with agencies which could relieve them of all the stress and take care of the execution from end to end. So we focused on retail and we grew in the retail division to be one of the largest uh, retail design, end-to-end retail design to execution company in India. I would say we are amongst the top five or perhaps, yeah, companies in the country. These are some of our large clients, and they are mostly the current accounts that we are working on. So if you see Maruti Arena and ENR are economy and rural outlets. We've done close to over 250 stores in last 1.5 years. We've done a lot of Canon stores. We've done MI brand stores, Xiaomi. Suzuki Motorcycle is another account of ours. We've executed over 200 stores for them. Latin Quarter, it's a fabric and a garment brand. Revlon, we have been involved in the retail identity and retail execution for last 20 years now. Again, Intex, another about 150 stores for them. There's some of the recent projects. Now I'll take you through some of the work done by us. If you see, this is the Canon flagship professional store. They call it the Pro Store. The professional store this is located in Connaught Place, Delhi, and it's a one-stop shop where they exhibit the entire range of cameras and accessories, right from high-end movie cameras, which are used in the film productions, to DSLRs and all kinds of equipments, and something which is not available anywhere in the country would be available here. And this is the biggest and the most prominent flagship store for Canon in the country. And if you see, the brief was to give a wow experience to the customer. The brief was also to establish Canon's dominance in the field of photography and photo experience, right from the photography to printing to the range of accessories that Canon sells. So everything was live, interactive, and demonstrated through the space that you see has been created. There was a separate conference room, sort of a place where events related to photography could be conducted, exhibitions could be conducted. It was like a photo gallery where photographers could come and hold conferences and get their customers or get their students, and anything around photography could be planned over here. So if you see, there is a bar where, apart from coffee and drinks, soft drinks could be served, and it could be an engagement point for demonstrating the technological superiority of Canon products in terms of getting the detail, getting colors, getting the lighting correct, and the entire set and everything is recreated over here for that sort of an experience for the customer. Now, when the brief comes, client just wants a fantastic space. So now, how do you link the brand values, the brand look, the brand guidelines? Here was a situation where we were fortunate to work for a multinational which was open to creating this sort of a identity for themselves, as well as give this kind of an experience to their prospective customers. Now, this is the Canon, they call it Canon Image Store, but it is the mass rollout look and feel, where the brief given to us again was, this was designed by us and executed by us, pan-India. And the brief given to us was to demystify technology. Canon being a photography equipment product, and also into printing and other camera accessories, they kind of were facing heat from the mobiles and the tendency of everybody to use mobile for photography. So why would people get drawn to buy Canon products? So the idea was to showcase the difference between the output of a mobile phone versus the DSLRs, as well as give this holistic experience, the experience of capturing moments of their lives, documenting it, and the whole thrill of uh, using a equipment which is worth the moment. Now, for that, it was very important to demystify technology, which is what we did for them. Uh, Made it more into a lifestyle brand centered around travel, holidays, uh, engagement in finer aspects of your life. So the idea was to draw in family crowd, not just the photography enthusiasts. So if you see, these would be visible all over the country. If you go to any Canon store, most likely this is the look that you'll find. This is the third division of Canon which we worked upon. This is the BIS, business imaging solution. So this deals with photocopiers and high-end printers, more of a B2B segment. So directed towards offices, directed towards institutes, directed towards institutional buyers, government. So more of a meeting point and more of a engagement point and more of a discussion point. And yeah, the products are displayed nicely and neatly so that the demonstrations and the demos and the touch and feel can be had over here. Next is Maruti Suzuki Arena. Uh, this incidentally was a design developed by Denso, which is Maruti's agency, and this is being executed by us. We are execution partners for the fit outs. If you see, there are some 10, 12 elements in this store, which is provided by Entasis and manufactured by Entasis and installed by Entasis. So if you see these kind of mounts where the 48 and 65-inch televisions are mounted, the accessory zone, the reception, all kinds of this touchscreen kiosk, the table where iPads are mounted, a whole lot of similar elements. And so Maruti works in a very, very organized manner with the project management handled by Maruti itself, where our role is limited to providing of the fit outs in these stores. And we were, uh, before lockdown rolling, we've done close to 20-25 stores in a month in past. Now that is the kind of speed and the scale of operation that we managed to achieve for the client. This is a Nexa store, again fit outs. Disney store, which was designed by us for Disney when they wanted to come in through a franchise, which was with DLF. Revlon, it has been an old client of ours. We've been working with Revlon for the last 20 years. And right from their retail store to their DSUs and their tabletop units on which the cosmetics are displayed are both designed as well as made at Entasis. You see, these are Revlon stores in past. GNC and Guardian Pharmacy, we worked with the GNC team. Again, in India, they wanted to create an identity for themselves as a unique brand. So if you see, the concept is based around the unique shape of their protein supplement jars. And we worked around that and built a very, very strong identity around their brand colors of red and white. And there was an attempt, if you see, in terms of co-branding it with Guardian Pharmacy. So half of the store was designed for Guardian, other half was GNC look and feel. Again, some of the work done at Delhi Airport. This was an interesting project we got from Le Eco. It was a brand which came, Chinese company which came, and yeah, it went bankrupt, but much before they went bankrupt, they engaged us to design a service center for them for Hong Kong. This was designed for Hong Kong and made into a very futuristic center where the look and feel was very future ready. This was again a design project done for Transsion. They are a range of mobile phones. It was designed more like a campus, like a canteen where people could chill and hang out. This was a project, unique project for MI, where the whole brief was to design something which could be executed rapidly because they wanted to hit a Guinness Book of World Record of opening 500 stores altogether. So it was a massive project carried out pan-India, where this design was done by us, as well as we were one of the 5 or 6 vendors who did the execution of this project pan-India, and it was opened altogether. Some 500 stores were opened altogether at one shot. Intex, again, a range of electronic good company which had its good days some 3-4 years back before the onslaught of Chinese mobile phone companies. They were pretty much dominant in the mobile space. When in those days we executed close to about 200 of these stores pan-India. So they wanted to position themselves as a single-stop shop for entire range of electronic products. Panasonic, again, this was just the design which was done for them. This was a perfume brand based out of Bangalore, designed and executed by us. This again was a cosmetic brand. We were hired to do the design part of it. Latin Quarters, it's a garment brand. Then apart from store design, we also do POS, which is point of sales products, and primarily used as engagement points in the retail outlets. The good part of these projects is that the numbers are huge. Like, for example, if you see this Renault 2 prop, it was a prop which would showcase some unique properties of the phone, but the numbers that were produced ran into thousands. And some of the work which we did for some other clients. Again, if you see, all of this has been designed and executed by us. Mobile, pens, cameras, all kinds of products. Some projects in branding and communication. We have a branding and communication division where, if you see, we also touch upon doing logos, brochures, literature, websites, etc. This was a new company which was formed, Intasys Technology Private Limited. The mandate of the technology company was to touch upon all technology aspects in the field of retail. So if you see retail security, retail footfall counting, EAS solutions, which are electronic surveillance gates. Herein, this was one business which we got into about 6-7 years back. And by now we have a dominant presence in the field of retail security stance. Some of it, we are national distributors and rollout partners. Some products are innovated by us. We work on the software aspects of it. And we have even launched some of our own brands in this market. And it almost was a natural synergy with the retail design and execution team and the clients that we work with. So it was an extension of the same philosophy of being one-stop shop for the clients, because you leverage your advantage and strength in one segment towards giving better solutions and better offerings to your clients for the other. So these are some of the projects done by our technology team. We have a large rollout team which does execution pan India. And these are some of our clients. And this will give you some sense of what we've been doing, some of the details about the company. And now over to you, Rajan.
Hi. So that was a phenomenal range of work, Manish. Very, very inspiring. And a lot of questions which are coming on to the chat box. Uh, moving on to them. There's a question from Gaurav Pandey. Sir, I have become an entrepreneur. So how can I proceed? Gaurav, an entrepreneur in which field? Okay. He says that he's already an entrepreneur and he wants your advice on how to go about it. Manish?
Rajan rightly asked you in which field.
Yes, it's too open-ended.
So as an entrepreneur, you just have to throw yourself onto the work.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would have reacted specifically to entrepreneur in what field if I knew that. But all I can tell you is if you want to be an entrepreneur, get ready to be a generalist as well as try to work in a field where you personally can give some value addition in terms of your specialization or your knowledge or your expertise or your skills.
Absolutely. Okay, I have a question. When you're selecting a design graduate for your firm, what are the kind of skill sets and attitude that you look forward to, say, for a person who wishes to do his internship or even join your firm?
So there are two aspects. We look into the kind of portfolio that the student brings on board, which reflects the quality of work done while in the educational institute, the projects and the exposure that kind of gives us a sense on the interest that the student has, whether the student has interest in accessory design and garment design and just applying to us as an option, or whether the person genuinely has done some space projects and what are the kind of solutions and the portfolio of your projects done at your college is important.
Yeah.
And then second, we do sometimes telephonic interviews, sometimes face-to-face interviews to judge the earnestness of the person in wanting to join in TASIS. So that's where the attitude matters. That's where the students like I like to see sincerity and certainty of wanting to join us.
Okay,
I would
it's more about the passion.
Yeah, so that is an indicator of the passion the person brings on board. So I think in terms of attitude, the passion towards the profession and the work matters. And that I would give almost like 60 or 70% weightage.
Okay. And do you gauge the technical skills? You give more weightage to technical skills or conceptual ability,
I
or
would
it
say,
could be a blend of both?
sure. So I would give more weightage to conceptual abilities. Uh, Technical skills, honestly speaking, uh, we don't expect much from students because they come with a lot of theoretical knowledge, uh, but the retail specific understanding is not expected. I mean, I would expect them to brush up their technical skills and knowledge and understanding after 2 or 3 months or even one and a half month exposure in the company. but conceptual skill is something which we can't help them create.
It comes with experience.
It comes with experience, it comes with your knowledge, it comes with your education, it
Yeah.
comes with the kind of influences Mr. Rajan Iyer has on you.
Okay. What are the challenges faced by a designer in retail industry, especially in the retail arena? Yeah. I
Well,
also find that it is extremely multidisciplinary. There's so much of graphics, so much of VM,
yes.
product design. It's
Yeah. So for a designer, you come. So for example, I'll cite my own example. I was a furniture designer,
yeah.
and so when I got into the field, I found one of the first project was to develop and design a stand for fax machine. Now,
Okay.
fax machine stand was my first project, and frankly, at that point of time, I had to go and measure and understand what fax machine was all about, and the client expectation, and so balancing all of that. So it was completely new domain. Now, what works at that point of time is uh, you draw upon your education in terms of your design thinking, which is more directed towards problem solving, uh, because design education and design per se is all about solving the problem. Now, the problem could be that of a brand, problem could be that of a demo or the product or durability or production or even dispatches and installation, space oriented. It could be numerous. So, that problem solving ability of a designer comes handy.
Okay. Okay. There's one very fundamental question here from Preeti Banwal. What is a retail space?
What is a retail space? Retail
Yeah.
space pre-COVID was different and post-COVID will be different.
Yeah.
Retail space pre-COVID is an engagement point where a customer comes for two objectives. One is to get a touch and feel and get their hands onto product and understand how it works and compares it to the options available at the store. And second is to engage in some sort of a mental and emotional therapy, which is traditionally called retail therapy, which is very essential. Now, in post COVID, while you can still do some bit of shopping online, but touch and feel is something which will always be missing. So, retail space uh, was extremely important earlier. I would say would continue to be important post COVID era, but some amount of sale will definitely shift into online portals.
Okay, a question which is very much expected is the impact of COVID on the retail scenario.
Uh, Impact of COVID is on everything.
Yes.
Impact of COVID will last till the time COVID lasts. Various theories on COVID, from 6 months to 3 years, 4 years to forever. And as it pans out, I think like every other industry, retail also will evolve to bring in the sensibilities of the time and the need of survival, and yet the longing of the prospective customer to get a retail therapy and get to engage with products and get in touch and feel and get the experience of shopping.
Yeah.
So I think there would be a mixture and a combination which will emerge in times to come. But
Offline and
if hypothetically speaking, if COVID was to mysteriously go away in 1 year, I think in another couple of years we'll be back to square one. We'll back to pre-COVID era. So it would all depend upon how this thing pans out. I'm not a subject matter expert to be able to say what will happen on this.
it's having a big impact.
Yes.
Uh, if the future of retail is going the e-commerce way, how much of user experience design would a say a space designer be expected to know? Because I think post COVID, a lot of it is going to be on a virtual platform.
Yes. So a lot of brands are moving towards an omni-channel sort of a retail execution plan, where they are mixing. For example, if you've ever been to a Flipkart store, so they mix their customers from, sorry, not Flipkart, Lenskart store. So they mix their online
Lens
customers
card.
with their retail experience. So you could place an order, collect it from the stores, get your fitting done. It's a combination. It's a combination. So in fact, a lot of clients would move towards that sort of a omni-channel presence, and Google has tested uh, retail experience and stores without any manning.
Yeah.
So if I look at future, that again gels very well with the post-COVID era, where you do not have cash counters, you do not check out, you just pick and you go, and you are billed on your phone. So you minimum customer engagement, minimum human engagement, minimum touch points. Uh, so all kinds of innovations, and definitely this is one segment which is going to evolve, and there's a lot of innovation happening in this segment.
Yeah, many more questions coming, sir. There's a question, sir. I want to be an interior designer. Is interior designer a much better option or furniture designer?
Yeah, this is a
Okay.
question. This is a question even I was wondering when I was in that point where I was deciding what to do. Uh,
Yeah, as a furniture designer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fortunately, NID did not offer us to be an interior designer, so we had no choice but to take up furniture design. So I was a furniture designer who is now an interior designer. Now, whether that sounds confusing or whether that answers, but it's one and the same thing. Furniture design teaches you to develop an eye for detailing. Interior design is more a generalistic sort of a platform, but I would say both train you towards a similar sort of a professional footprint, because
True.
when you design furniture you also do think about the context in which it's going to go and get placed. So there is a 80-20 focus on furniture and detailing versus interiors, and when you do interiors there's a 20% focus on detailing, material, joinery, construction, and 80% on the overall space.
Yeah.
Now between this kind of a toggling, you find your own comfort zone, and while you are studying, I think you could start from either of the 2 points as far as education and choice of stream is concerned.
Yeah, and also one can custom design for a particular space. You know, you can even custom design the furniture to integrate with the look and feel of a space. As being a furniture designer, yes.
Correct, correct.
There's a question from Ayush. Sometimes new companies in the retail sector, they're more towards copying what other big companies do in their stores. How to deal with a situation like this? Yeah, these are hard facts, yes.
I think
How do you copyright your designs? How do you prevent
the,
copying?
the large the large companies at times also take it as a badge of honor. I mean, it's inevitable
So they
because
love copying.
yeah, if you see Apple always designs stores independent of what competition is doing, and then if you see that kind of set standards for the entire industry, and moment you have a
Yeah,
new format of Apple stores, you will see, I won't take the names of the brand, but you can see easy spin-offs, and with some color change and some detail change and some fixture change, they all start doing an Apple copy. So you can't help it. If you are a market leader and if you are a trend setter, people will copy
yes.
you.
The
Other
influence is
brands
there.
will copy you. But of course, the big brands cannot copy you so directly and obviously. So because there is some level of patent and
Some amount of tweaking is required.
yes, yes.
Okay, the next question is, do you hire project managers?
Of course, we hire project managers because that's a completely different profession, and we have found civil engineers, architects do better jobs on project management than qualified designers because designers don't like to get into managerial activities and roles at times. Most designers, uh, and I'm a designer myself, so but most designers like to stick to creative aspect of the projects, and they do not want to get into the dirty part, which is the execution and getting their you know getting to manage things like labor issues, uh, government laws, bylaws, cops, transportation, logistics, uh, which is where project managers come in. You know, it's a very key important point and key important role in an organization like ours.
Okay, an interesting question. Do you think this pandemic will change the designer's perception or change the usage of materials? If yes, then how?
Uh,
The perception of the usage of materials is quite interesting.
yes, I think usage of material is going to be critical. How it will change the retail experience? I think we answered that question a
Yes,
while ago.
yes. Yeah.
But usage of material, yes, as you see, the people are. I mean, what we've read and what we've understood, it lasts longer on metal versus some other material. So, would it reduce the usage of metal? It will take time. It will take time before designers uh, kind of start thinking in those lines that okay, eliminate all metal component in the retail space, just because the COVID lasts for 12 hours on metal vis-a-vis 6 hours. Technically, yes, you're right. Probably it could influence
Some kind of
that innovation, which because you design, you make the whole thing, and then you spray a reduce the life of COVID virus
okay.
on your objects.
I think we'll move on to some quick questions. We are taught design to conceptualize technical and analytical details, but how to market ourselves?
Good question. As design face being able to market ourselves. Somehow this is a skill you'll have to pick when you get into professional world.
There's a question from Vanshika. How can we apply for an internship at Entasis?
info@entasisglobal.com.
Okay, that's it, Vanshika. Uh, I'm an architect and I'm interested in retail design. Should I be doing masters in this field?
Uh, if you have, I didn't get his question. He's done retail design.
Yeah, I'm an architect and I'm
Architect.
interested in retail design. So should I be doing masters in this field?
It would help. I would say it would help. It would help. It would certainly open up doors because you would understand a bit more in terms of specifics of retail.
Yes.
Uh, but I have seen architects jump into doing interior design after finishing the architecture and doing good job at it. So it's an individual's choice, but I would say it would help doing masters in retail design.
Okay, we are moving close to closing time. Last question. What is retail therapy?
Retail therapy. Retail therapy is a very important reason why retail will always be there. It's a point where uh, the capitalistic and consumeristic instincts built by humankind plays out. It's it's part of the economy and it's part of the way world is run.
Okay.
Because obviously the intent is to sell more than what you need. You need five shirts, you are forced to buy 50 shirts. That's because you need retail therapy. You are
Yeah.
told that you need retail therapy. It works on your subconscious levels.
Uh, how social distancing will impact size of physical retail environments?
uh, Size is always going to be a limited and a premium thing in Indian retail scenario. And if it is specific to India, I do not think all the small shops will shut down. It's just that they would regulate the number of people inside the shop. And those kind of things we're already seeing around.
Okay. We all seem to get diverted towards simpler and cost-effective lifestyle due to the pandemic. What are your views on the changes that will take place from customers' perspective? Will the interest shift happen and how one should capture it at best? It's a bit not very clear,
Yeah,
but
so
one thing is for sure towards simpler and cost-effective lifestyle.
yes. I mean, your question answers itself. So,
Partly, yes,
yeah, partly your
a
question.
simpler lifestyle.
Yeah, I agree. I tend to agree with you in terms of the first focus is going to be on essentials and simplifying life. For a long time, till the time the pandemic lasts, I think it's going to weigh on our mind to keep our life simple.
Yeah, that's about it. So thank you, Manish, for your very informative and inspiring talk.
Thank you, Rajan.
Yeah, a lot of us
I
are
hope,
very inspired.
the audience found this exciting, and the field itself should be exciting for them because at the age this audience is in, I think you are the future of retail and retail business. So, what I spoke about is what I have experienced in my lifetime and starting my journey from 90s, which is entirely different from what the journey will be in the 2020 and onwards. So, don't lose hope, don't have optimism. Retail space will be there and this business and this profession will be there, and there will be more exciting technology driven, uh, sensitivity driven, new parameters will come up and new challenges will come up, and you guys will have a great future in this field.
Yeah, thank you, viewers, and be sure to log on to the coming Design Thursday. Take care. Bye.
Thank you,
Thanks,
bye.
Manish.
Thanks, Rajan, bye.
Yeah, it was a pleasure.